It really is a miracle that I've not been spoiled on this show, on One Piece, on those are probably two big ones right now. Mainly because what these again, comparison this show with One Piece has got to be annoying to some people, but I'm doing both at the same time. It's gonna happen, you know. But anyway, both of them been around for like 20 years, and there's some key plot points. It'd be like because I watch a lot of Buffy reactions, and sometimes it's just amazing to me that so many people have not been spoiled on Buffy because it's in the pop culture, right? It's out there. So, it's so easy to be spoiled on some things. And again, like with Neil talks on his Lost reactions, he was spoiled on two things. He knew there was a hatch, and he knew the phrase, we have to go back. Fortunately, he didn't know when those things happened, so he was surprised in both cases, right? But it's still, like, some things are just into pop culture. Fortunately for me, I have a terrible memory, and I'm terrible with names. So, for instance, like names may be pronounced in a way I don't think they're pronounced if I remember the name at all, which is very unlikely. Why do I bring all this up? Well, I was rewatching some Normie's Buffy reactions, and they brought up this show. And apparently, there's somebody that turns evil at some point, and they were making the parallel with. It wasn't even like because there was cases in Buffy where good characters turn evil, but it wasn't even that case. It was just as an aside. And at first I was annoyed. It's like, why would you talk about those shows? But then, like, I talk about Lost on this show and many of the other shows I do. It's one of my favorite things. Lost and Buffy are probably the two shows I talk about the most, just because I've rewatched them the most number of times. I probably have seen Lost 2 dozen times. I've seen Buffy like 3 dozen times. Like, just incessantly rewatching. So it's like there's a statute of limitations. There's a socially acceptable statute of limitations for general spoilers. Somebody on Buffy turns evil is a general spoiler. You're allowed to say that after 3 or 4 years. You're probably allowed to talk about major plot points after 10 years. If you ain't watching in 10 years, man, get with the program. 20 years, Buffy has been off the air for like, damn, 20 years. Literally. I think it's actually been 20 years since she got off the air. So it should be open season. It's like, or what are we still supposed to not talk about Citizen Kane spoilers? Like, there is a statute of limitations. Nobody like has completely agreed what the number of years is, but I think once we start talking about 2 decades and more, we're gonna ruin the ending of the crying game, The Sixth Sense. Get your ass out there and watch this shit. It's just that there's a problem with this. So, what about young people? Somebody's 20 years old. Maybe they want to go back and check out some of the classics. But when I was growing up, I never wanted to watch Citizen Kane, for instance, because I knew the spoilers. I never wanted to watch Casablanca because the movie had been quoted and memed, and back then it was parodies, but same difference. It had been parodied so much from like Looney Tunes and from regular TV shows, Christmas Carols, another one. Just they've been parodied to death. You've seen, you basically could cut together all the parodies and references from other movies and TV shows and remake Casablanca from those. You could pretty much other than like some talky scenes that are establishing some exposition, but you could probably put together 80% of the movie Casablanca just from references and parodies from other media. Even Red Dwarf did it. So some movies are so much in the public eye and the public consciousness and in pop culture I refused to watch them because it was already spoiled. I knew every story beat in Casablanca before I watched it. I didn't watch it until I was like 40 years old. It took me a long time. I didn't want to watch it because it had been spoiled. So you could get this with kids these days, right? Like if you're 20 years old, you didn't watch Buffy when it came out because you weren't around, and you didn't watch these shows, One Piece and Naruto, because you weren't around. So it's not fair that these things get spoiled for you simply because you weren't around. Like if you've been around, if you're 50 years old, if you're 40 years old, you had time to watch this shit. So if you didn't watch it, that's on you. That's how I feel about spoilers after 10, 15, 20 years. If you had a chance to watch them, you didn't watch them, that's on you. You should have done it. But what about the 20-year-olds? What about the 25-year-olds? Even 30. Say you're 30 years old right now. Buffy ended 20 years ago. You were 10 years old. You were not watching Buffy when it came out. And so when you were 14, when you were the perfect age to watch Buffy, what was out? There was other stuff that was out that's more important. Ally McBeal is out, right? X Files is out. There was some crossover, but I can't remember. I guess Stargate SG-1 started in 1996. Maybe you were watching Stargate SG-1 instead of Buffy. Similar genres. Whatever the teen show was at that time, I don't remember. But so you were wrapped up in what was coming out fresh, and you never got a chance to circle back and check out Buffy. And so it's been 20 years. Maybe now you would really be able to appreciate. You can go back and watch it, and it's available on streaming. It's very easy to watch. It's very accessible, but too late because everybody spoiled you. So I try to not do that in my reactions when I talk about this show. I try to be as vague as possible. Though I do assume most people, if they've had a chance to watch it, they watch it. But again, it's not fair to the young people. That's kind of what I'm trying to say here. But anyway, so I was watching this Normie's reaction, and they brought this up. That somebody turns evil in this show at some point. And they implied it was like stupid to have faith in this person and try to bring them back to the good side. I don't remember the character name. They mentioned a character name, but I don't remember what it was. So that's a little bit of a spoiler, but I don't know which character it is. I mean, so far he's got a squad. He's got 2 kids and he's got a sensei. And that's just in the first 9 episodes. Like the character they're talking about may not even be introduced yet. I assume his squad is probably going to be around 4 people with a couple additional secondary characters that you'll see almost every episode. So it can be anybody. I don't think it's going to be Naruto himself because we've just had this on other shows. And I don't think the main character turning evil is like, I don't think that's super common in anime, or the couple times I've already seen it wouldn't be as impactful because people would be like, that's what always happens in anime. No, I think it's rare. So I don't think it's him. So I just want to put this out there. Like, fortunately, I have a bad memory and I'm terrible with names, so I don't remember who they said. But it is something I am now spoiled on, so I guess I'll be looking for it. But I'm not mad because the series has been on for 20 years and I did have an opportunity to watch it. So I've had an opportunity to watch all this stuff. I'm glad I didn't. It's great for my channel. I wish I hadn't watched Lost, and I wish I hadn't watched Game of Thrones. And I wish I hadn't watched Breaking Bad. I would have a massive channel if I had not watched those 3 shows. But fortunately, like, I'm that way with anime. Like, I haven't seen any of this, none of it. The only thing I've ever seen is Star Blazers, and apparently that's not even the real name of that show. So, like, I had not seen jack shit. So, fortunately, at least I can have a big anime channel. Potential. All right, well, anyway, this is episode 10. This is a Friday, and this is the last one I'm recording before the first 5 episodes go live, so that I can gauge the reaction, gauge what people think about. So by the time you see this, I'll already have my answer about how much more I'm going to be doing. I'll be doing at least 5 more, but I want to wait because I want to see if you want me to start doing a character corner and if you want me to start doing comment corners and stuff like that. So I'm going to wait to record the next 5 for about, I want to get at least 4 days into next week to find out, because I'm recording this on Saturday, July 1st. The first episode goes live on the 3rd, right? So that I can see, and I'll put it in comments, and so I'll have my answer by the time you see this. But I'm just telling you my thought process. We're not doing a character corner this episode. Depending on feedback, a week from today, I may or may not be doing a character corner at that point. We'll see. Every show is different. Every fan base is different. So it just depends on what people want me to do. All right. If you do want me to do it, it wouldn't hurt, especially if you're on early access, to go ahead and drop comments here that you want me to do it. So anything can sway my opinion. All right. Well, in any case, let's go and get into this. This is episode 10. You know where we are. You know where we're going. Apparently another black screen. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I bet you did. They had a lot going on. Can't overuse your magic. I go sleepy now. Get off my ass. Tired. I mean, that's the cost, right? There's a cost of doing business. I don't know. They if I was them, I'd be rolling up now. There's a lot of ninja lore I'm going to have to try to keep track of in this show. Hmm. Wow, that's very mean. Interesting. Hide the secrets. They guard their secrets very jealously. Right. Yeah, right. Can't have that. Of course, if you're dead, who cares, right? Well, we care about the future, I guess. These dudes ain't screwing around, man. Wait, is he still alive? Oh, crap. Holy crap. Really? I thought he was done, man. I think he wants to. No. So he's evil, huh? I see. So this is about the cover up, I see. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. It's not about your feelings. Immaculate, huh? I think you want to hit that. Stay your ass sitting down. Guess you're both tired. Shouldn't he die of shame or something? He just got his ass kicked. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Yeah, yeah. So will he. The sensei. He gets better too, right? So it's a dangerous assumption. Of course, I made the same assumption. I'd never even crossed my mind he would be faking his death. With help, of course. Right, yeah. We're out of here. Yep. Teleportation ninja style. Yeah, why did he do that? He's suspicious. Right. Gotcha. Won't you mind your own damn business? This is ninja stuff. Calm the hell down. It's not that dramatic. Well, crap. Too bad you didn't see it in the moment, though. It don't do good the next morning, does it? Right. Yeah, it's like acupuncture, right? Like you just said. I like how they're taking like real world stuff and just pushing it into the realm of fantasy. But they start with the foundation of reality, right? Yep. Yeah, just a tad bit, yes. Right. Yeah, he's a weirdo. Yeah, because you're washed up, apparently. Hey, man, this show's foundation, speaking of foundations, the show found its foundation is about training. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, yeah. You ain't done shit. You know what she's done? She's done a bunch of smacking her gums. That's all she's done. I need to see her get in the game, do some fighting. Yeah, yeah. You noticed. His world is so small right now. This is what he cares about. That his sensei notices that he's improved. Yep. And we got random kids running around. Okay, so that's his daughter, and this is his grandchild. Okay, gotcha. I was trying to figure out who she was. Well, that's just hateful. Yeah. Boy, I wish I loved anything as much as anime characters. Anime characters love pointing the finger in your face. Yeah, yeah. People suck. There are no heroes. He's kind of a pessimist. I'm out of here. Yep. When you stop sucking, why don't you come look me up? You got to hold him back. Dude, yeah. Here's the thing, man. He don't like being called a brat and being looked down upon because of his age, but then he's going to do the same thing. Hypocrite. Flaming hypocrite. Yeah. Maybe people have feelings like you do. Narcissistic a-hole. I mean, this is his age, right? Oh, yeah, okay. His dad died. Gotcha. Well, that's some heavy crying, man. When you got it like all over your face, not just here, you're doing some massive crying. Yeah, so stop being an a-hole. This is, again, part of his character growth. You're not a horrible person because you started in a bad place. As long as you're going in the right direction. I'm listening. Right. It's like maybe what you call chi or something, you know. Man, I wish I could remember what they called that in Hunter x Hunter. It's been a year or two since I've seen that. Is it Jen or something like that? Something. But it's the same concept, just different name. Right. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this again. Right. That's why they'd be doing that stuff. Yeah. 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 Difficult explanation. I feel like a second time through I'll get it. It's not that difficult. You're just playing at it. Basically, brute force. See, it's the difference between a hammer and a scalpel, right? Right now, they're hammers. They can do the brute force, but they need refinement. They need to be focused to be able to do surgical strikes and maneuvers and stuff, right? That just comes with experience. That's how you build a magic system anyway, so I assume they're going to do it here. Right. It's pretty standard stuff. Yeah. Right. Dresden Files uses a similar premise where they talk about this. See, in Dresden Files, the magic wand is just a focus. It helps him focus the power. He can do magic without it, but he also has a staff that helps focus the power and other things like bracelets and stuff. Here, they're just talking about focusing power with like hand movements and meditation. That's right. You heard him. Okay, using your tongue to climb a tree would be very difficult. That is true. That's right. Oh yeah. Holy crap! That's not what I was expecting. I thought maybe inchworm up or something, and he's literally just walking up the damn tree, which explains why that dude is able to stand on a sword that way. That's incredible. And this is him in a weakened state, by the way. Right. I get what you're saying. Right. You got to be able to focus. Mental discipline. It all starts there. Right. So if you can just do it automatically, that's one thing off your plate. That's right. Thank you for the knives. Gotcha. You got to put in the work, man. It's repetitions, reps. Yeah, yeah. Your arrogance is your undoing. Man. Yeah, yeah. Enough bumping your gums. What's up? His character growth is going to be very interesting because he's starting in such a bad place, right? There's so much for him to grow up from. Like Luke Skywalker started, he was pretty humble. His main problem was he was naive. Maybe he was a little too aggressive. But Luke Skywalker is never an arrogant a hole. Maybe a little overconfident, but never an arrogant a hole. So he started further ahead than Naruto did, right? So he has so much more room to grow. And then, of course, they're doing a series, not a movie, so they don't need him to start further ahead. But his arrogance is a little too much sometimes for me. But I keep reminding myself, like, he's starting here so he can go somewhere else. So we'll see. That's right. So finally, she is good at something. Okay. Because I've been waiting for her to do something. Like, what is her purpose here? She hasn't done jack shit in the fights. So if she's better with the mental discipline, that makes a lot of sense. That gives her something to. Yes, that's tick me off. That gives her a role in the group, right? Yep. Uh oh. Yeah. If nothing else, she provides motivation, right? That's an important role in the group. People can motivate in different ways. Kick his ass. You can provide motivation in a lot of ways. This is just one of them. Right. That's right. Soak up that motivation. The hell are you looking at? Maybe he's evil. You gonna go snitch? Well, then carry your ass home. Then we didn't ask you to show up. Oh, wait a minute. Speaking of motivation, maybe he's the one that turns evil. I don't know. I'm getting that vibe from him. Hey, did you bring the Taco Bell I asked for? Nope. Like I said, this is humiliating. He is talking shit. He is talking. You deserve every bit of this too. You got your ass kicked by a dude I think is around 22 and a bunch of kids. I assume the sensei is around 22. They may have said 26. That number is coming to mind for some reason. But he's not very old. This dude looks like he's in his 40s. What? Hey, man, you can. Yeah, damn. Hey, man, you can act all the badass you want to right now. You got your ass kicked yesterday. So I'm not convinced you're tough. Yeah. Ooh, not ticked off. Now, if you were pissed off, I'd be scared. That's what I'm saying. You can't take an L and then act all tough. Not in this world. Yeah, Americans, they let that shit slide, but not over here, man. Right. Right. Look at them. They're flying at you. I like there's so many different factions. This is a faction that people are working with. They're temporarily working with them. That's a separate faction. Hey, man, you didn't cut the tree, so it doesn't count. That landing would be rough, man. Yep, they got to make sure to keep her weak, right? Okay, so he is marking the tree. It didn't look like he was because he's weak. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Hey, he's a simple guy. What are you gonna do? Teach me. Hey, man, I was right. Denied. She's more into him than she is you, dude. See, it's about potential. In the NFL, well, we'll talk about this in a minute. I think this is almost over. Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, yeah, that was right. Okay, so in the NFL, when you're drafting players, you look at what their ceiling is. You don't necessarily look. Sometimes you look at their floor, but you wonder what their ceiling is. Okay, so they rank players, 1 through 10, with one being garbage and 10 being like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, people like that, right? So some players will come in, they'll be a 7, so they're going to be really good. But get this, they're a 7. Their ceiling is 8. The best they'll ever be is 8. They're already so they've almost reached their potential. That's her. I think she's almost reached her potential already. Like she's already got the mental discipline. She doesn't have the arrogance. She has the focus, but her ceiling is only but so much. She can only do but so much, right? But she's a 7, so she looks really good compared to them right now. A lot of NFL players they'll come in at a 4, but their ceiling is a 9 or 10. Like there's a now you have to have the right coaching, the right experiences, and stuff like that, and not be injured. But if all those things come to pass, they will be a 9 or 10. So they will max out better than this player who's currently a 7 who can only be an 8, right? And that's what you're looking at. Okay, do you want a player who is already almost as good as they'll ever be? There's not whole lot you have to do. You don't have to hope, okay, no injuries, and hope the coaching's perfect, and hope that they don't get distracted once they get paid and get into drugs or something, or stupid off-field behavior where they get suspended. You already know they're a 7, so you're gonna get a 7, and 7s are valuable in the NFL. Not everybody's gonna be a 9 or 10. Most players are gonna be 6, 7, 8, right? So you're gonna have a valuable player. He'll be a mainstay on your team for 10 years at a 7, potentially even be an 8. Okay, but then you got these 4s who can be a 9 or 10. These are the superstars. These are the ones that get you into the Super Bowl and get you to win the championship, right? If they can go from 4 to 10. Those are the players. Which one do you draft? Now, see, I'm conservative. I would draft the 7 every time because I want a known quantity. This person's already good. And the 7 looks so much better than the 4s. And so when you're looking at the highlights and you look at their college career and you look at their workouts and stuff, you're like, well, this person's obviously better. But you can see the potential. Like maybe the 7 was in college for 3 years and has 60 games under the belt or something like that. Well, I guess it wouldn't be that much. It'd be like 45 games. They have like 45 games under the belt in college. And this 4 only spent 1 year in college, and he's already old enough and good enough to get into the NFL right now because people see his potential. So he only spent 1 year. So that's why he's a 4. If he had spent 3 years, he'd probably already be an 8 or 9, right? But he didn't. So a lot of the NFL general managers will be, we want the 4 because we believe we can train him up to be the 9 or 10. But right now, the 4 doesn't look nearly as good as the 7. What will they look like in 3 years, right? And so the really good teams, they take their shots at a bunch of these 4s and 5s who are going to be 9s and 10s. And then they develop them up to be the 9s and 10s. The mediocre teams, which mediocre doesn't mean negative, it just means you're even. You're in the middle. The teams are in the middle. Those are the ones that take the 7s. And so you have a steady team. They're never going to be super bad, but they're never going to be super good because they don't take any chances. If you pick a 4 and he doesn't play out, then you're going to be really bad because you get nothing, right? You get nothing out of it. So that's what we're seeing here. Right now, she's the 7. And a conservative general manager like me would pick her because she's already better than him right now. We can go out right now and get a serviceable job done, get a decent job done with her, with the talent, the ability she already has. But Naruto is a 4 with the potential to be a 10. And then the other kid is maybe a 5 with the potential to be a 9. And so that's why the sensei is focusing his energy on those 2, right? He's spending very little time on her because he knows she only has but so much potential. Now, I'm reading a lot, making a lot of assumptions here. But that seems to be the situation we're seeing here. And so that's I can relate to this so well because, I've watched the NFL for 30 years. And so that's why he's so important. He's so untrained and so amateurish and so rough around the edges right now. But man, with the proper training, he can be the next Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, that kind of thing. So, sorry if you don't like football, but, this is how I wrap my mind around it. So, it sucks for her because right now she looks so much better than them. But he can see the ceiling of everybody. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe she can actually achieve 8, 9, or 10 or something like that. I just haven't seen her do much. But right now, her role seems to be the motivating factor, which is an important role, like I said. But it'll be interesting to see where we are further down the road.